Konnichiwa, Samurai James here. In part 3 of my 3-part series on the green samurai armor, I'm going to be covering the neck and the head. Alright, part 3 of the green armor review. We're going to be starting off with the mempo. Now this is the face armor. There are a lot of options with it. This one, since I bought it at the same time as the rest of the suit, has the same plate style. It's got the same lacing and everything. However, for this, it does have straight edge plates at the top. It does not have the Kiritsuki Kozani with the artificial lacing. It's one thing that I wish I would have asked for at the time that I didn't really know about and wasn't an option when I bought it. I did buy it 3 years ago, so that's probably an option now. The mustache, I chose this style of mustache. I wanted something that was a little bit over the top. I'm kind of a fan of those kung fu movies, and you see the master where he twirls his mustache. I thought that would be a neat little thing, and at the time I was thinking I would order 2 different nose pieces, one with the mustache and one without, because for practical reasons the mustache can get in the way a lot. However, with the Gashira and Taisho class armors, it's removable, and when I'm putting on the armor, I'll actually take this off until I get fully dressed, just to keep it out of the way. Now, as one of the bits of quality, it's really nice to have that. There's also a drainage hole underneath here for letting sweat leak out. And it's also fully painted inside, so I don't really have to worry too much about sweating in it, and I sweat in it a lot because it's a mask, and between the mask and the helmet, you're simply going to sweat if it's warm, so it's nice to not have to worry about any of the rusting or problems like that. This has been, well used. It's been wet inside before. I've dripped sweat out of it, and it works perfectly fine. The teeth here are an extra little brass detail on it. Some of the other basic masks do not have it, so it's nice to see the brass teeth like this. When I bought it, they didn't have the option for the Akuma fangs and things like that. Or if there was, I probably would have gotten 2. Yeah, I said gotten, not got. I got a little bit too excited and forgot how to speak proper English here. Anyway, I would have got 2 separate mempo, one with the fangs and one without, but I like the difference in the materials here, so the brass being natural actually makes it stand out. The quality of the metal and all the shaping is wonderful. The lines here are very well done. They're very soft. Of course, as usual, I can run my hand all over the edges here, nice and soft, no problems with any burrs or anything sharp around the ears. It's got the holes, which help a little bit with the hearing, which is good because sometimes I don't hear that well. It has the orikugi hooks for hooking the kabuto cords underneath of. The quality of that is really nice. This came with 2 separate laces, whereas on the Gashira it comes as a single one that you have to adjust by pulling through little pegs on either side. This is much easier to simply tie on like that. The inside is not lined. That's something that I think would have been a little bit nicer, just to have this line to keep it, since it does sit on top of the dough in some cases. I will often wear mine underneath because then the watagami in the dough helps hold it in place here, and it kind of sits in place pretty well. But with the curvature of it like this, sometimes it can begin to push in on me. It's not anything that's overly uncomfortable because I do have a full, proper, historical Yoroi Hidatari underneath. So it's not like it's digging in under a t-shirt. However, if you're wearing it with something very thin like that, that could become a problem. So just something to think about when you're considering ordering armor. The edges of these plates are all curled up, which I really like to see on a true historical armor. The plates would get curled up at the edge like this, and that little bit of lip to it gives it a little bit more strength. And then that's where you would have the urushi on top, and that would also thicken up the plates. Urushi, of course, is highly toxic, and there are very few people in the world who work with it, and I would not expect to have it on armor around this price point, so I'm not upset that it doesn't have it. I really like all the little detail with the lacing, the way that it goes through. It's also got the hishinui here across the bottom, the chidori along the edges, the 2 different colors. Everything about this is great. Alright, let's take a look at some close-up pictures and videos. And to top it all off, quite literally, we have the kabuto, one of the most iconic helmets in the world, if not the most iconic. I absolutely love this one. It is so cool. I did add the dragon crest as a separate item. This does not normally come with it. I'm going to slide that out of the way for now. The horns here, these are actually removable. On the Gashira class, if you have an older style of armor that was purchased a few years ago, they are permanently attached. However, I've heard in the current Gashira classes, they're actually removable as well. It's a nice little detail because then you can simply pop them off and then set them inside of a box or other flat surface to be able to pack it, and also to pop them out to be able to clean them separately. So that's a nice little touch. The brass work here on the front is beautiful. All the punching and casting, the rivets, everything to that is wonderful. It is the black Uzumaki plates and textures, just like with the rest of the armor. The same lovely Igawa, nice, soft, supple, clear, crisp patterns. Jabara Fusi is really, really nice and smooth. The extra Igawa trim here with the hand stenciled, I believe. White decorative pattern here. The upgraded brass trim all the way around that I absolutely love. It goes all the way up around here. I chose to go without a mon on the Fukigaishi wing flaps here, so there's just a blank one here. Everything about this is just really, really nice. I went with the 18 plate helmet bowl. You can see the Shikoro, the neck lanes here, hangs out nice and wide, but not so far out that it's like the earlier Oyuroi style. I had the upgraded helmet ring here, the Kasa Jirushi, I believe it is, with the little tassel on the back. The Kanemono, I think, helmet opening here. I'll have the reasons for that possibly in a separate video, but this is also beautiful. It really helps tie in the crown of the helmet. I have had a ponytail in it at times, and depending on my mood, I put it in or leave it out. The lacing here, just like on the rest of the armor, is wonderful. That's a little bit of fuzz. Again, I've had this for 3 years and worn it. I apologize. There's a little bit of fuzz and things. I love these extra brass details. I did actually purchase another set of these that I'm going to be adding to the Osode to match it. On the back of the Fukigaishi, we also have the pattern Igawa here that was the same that was inside of the do. I really love that little detail to it. The inside of the helmet is nicely done. It's even got the patterning around here. I mean, nobody but you even sees the inside, but here from the rivets, from the Maidate crest in the front, it's still got just the little patches over here, the little patches here. The helmet is incredibly comfortable to wear. I did upgrade the cord on it. This did come with just a black rope that had some tassels on the end. I'm not sure what the standard is now. It may be that this style is currently coming on the new ones because I bought this in 2019. But the rope on the end here, I went with a rope core rather than a soft core. So this is rope that has a linen covering over it, and I went with green for obvious reasons. But I just absolutely love everything about this helmet. It's such an iconic helmet. It's executed so well. It's incredibly comfortable. I've worn this thing for hours and hours and hours and have no problems with it. The crest itself, I did buy this separately. It is brass here for the whiskers. The rest of it is wood. It is made of something called Paulownia, Paulownia, which I talked to Mr. Asterita at Iron Mountain Armory. He said that's a historical armor. It's a historical wood that they would have used with the armor back then. It's also quick growing, so it's easy to reproduce. I love this thing. It is hand carved. It is really well done. The only thing that I had trouble with is the feet, as when it sits in the helmet here and you slide it into place, the feet went right here along the edge of the crown. And I'm going to angle this so that you can see it. So the feet went right in here, and what happened is, as I was transporting this to Ren Fair, it was in the truck and we were riding over, and when we got there, both of the back feet were gone. I had not even worn that yet, and both of the feet were gone. Did manage to find one, which I was able to reattach here, and I basically had to make another one here as a stand-in. It's not as good as the rest because I'm not a woodworker. You know, I can hack stuff and get by, but was able to make this as a replacement. At one point, if you've seen some of my other videos and the dragon was green, what happened was after it broke, I tried repainting it green to go with the rest of the armor. After a while, decided I simply didn't like the look, so I painted it gold. Absolutely love it. It's amazing the detail that they got to have the feet line right up over that ridge, but I just wish that the dragon stood up a little bit more, and you can see that I've bent it out slightly so that it doesn't sit down over the helmet. It was a cool feature, but it was just a little bit too fragile like that. So I went ahead and modified that. But overall, absolutely love the armor. 3 years in, no major problems with it. Little bits of things to, clip here and there and glue, small things. Absolutely well worth what it cost. I love the Taisho upgrades, everything about it. I would certainly highly recommend it. Full disclosure on that, yes, I'm an Iron Mountain Armory affiliate, but, even if that were not the case, I always try to be upfront and honest about everything. I would certainly recommend this. I've been recommending them for 10 years before I was an affiliate, so, take that as it is. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below. I'm going to wrap up here, and this is Samurai James, as always, saying thanks for watching, and sayonara.